All hail a beard, it's your boy Big Beard B, and we back for another edition of Big Beard Business. For those of you new to the channel, I'm B, and on this channel we help you improve your confidence by way of compliments using the wonderful world of fragrance. If this is your second video or more, we ask that you hit the subscribe button and come back to rock with your boy. Today's video is a little bit different, as I traditionally cater to men in terms of fragrances. But today I have a video that is going to be good for the ladies out there, whether you're looking for yourself or looking for the missus. Now when it comes down to the world of fragrance or perfume, it can go quite deep. There are many fragrances out there for a variety of reasons, and you have to try to pick and choose which ones are going to be best for you. Now, traditionally speaking, when we talk about fragrances or perfume, your mind may automatically go to the house of Chanel or Dior or something of that nature because, well, they do a great job of executing in that space. Not only are they extremely recognizable in the world of fashion, they are also recognized in the world of fragrance, and their names are synonymous with luxury. However, it gets deeper than that, and that may not be where you want to stop. So today I'm going to give you a few brands you may or may not have heard of, as well as some fragrances that I personally enjoy within those houses. So now that you know what we're doing, let's go ahead and get down to Big Beard Business. First up is a fragrance house that you may or may not know. More than likely you're not familiar with this house, but they really do some great things when it comes down to fragrances. And the fragrance house that I'm talking about is none other than EB Florals. Okay, EB is the acronym for the owner of this house, or the creator of this house, which is Eric. Okay, now Eric is a world-renowned flower designer. He does some great things for celebrities, and because of that, he decided to go on and create a fragrance line based on florals. And this is one of the fragrances within this house, which is Southern Mimosa. All right, this fragrance here is phenomenal. I'm not a huge fan when it comes down to florals, but there are florals within fragrances that just work, and this one is one of those fragrances. In the top of this fragrance, you're gonna get some bergamot in this fragrance. You also get honeysuckle within this scent. You get this mimosa accord, and in the base of this scent, you get some ambrox and musk. Let me tell you what this fragrance is. It's floral, it's powdery, and it comes off as something that is soft, elegant, sophisticated. A fragrance house that has a lot within there. I did a video on this fragrance house down in Miami at Saks Fifth Avenue, and you know, they were talking about Steve Harvey, as his wife really enjoys this house. There are a lot of other celebrities out there that truly enjoy and dive into this one. So this is the fragrance house that you might want to check out, the house of EB Florals. Now, if you're new to the world of fragrance, you may not be familiar with this house, but I'm sure you're familiar with their products. The fragrance house that I'm referencing is the house of Kilian, or by Kilian. And the fragrance that I'm going to talk about today is Good Girl Gone Bad Extreme. Now, it comes down to men's fragrances. I am like a huge Kilian fan. They have a number of fragrances which I truly enjoy, which a lot of those are used for unisex fragrances as well, and I think some women can pull them off. But this one here is made for women specifically, as it's called Good Girl Gone Bad, and this is the extreme version. When I think of Kilian fragrances, I don't think of the light, dainty fragrances that you would traditionally think of, which is why I pulled this fragrance, because traditionally when you think of light and dainty fragrances, at least in my mind, I think of those good girl fragrances. All right, but this is that bad girl fragrance for sure, and you can really make a statement with this. Stand out from the crowd and try something different. Their fragrances are darker, they're gourmandy, and they really just work. At least in my humble opinion, they do. These are niche fragrances, so they won't be readily available for everyone. You won't come across like everyone smelling like this. So stand out from the crowd with a fragrance like by Kilian's Good Girl Gone Bad Extreme. Now the next fragrance is a fragrance that is near and dear to my heart, as well as the house. And what I did was look at the landscape of fragrances that were out there for women today and figured, if it were up to me, what would I do and what would I want the boo thing to smell like? And here's the birth of this fragrance here, Idola, for the ideal woman. Now listen, this fragrance comes from Nabitus Parfums, which I am a creative director there, and I have 5 fragrances within this house. All right, I have Elation, I have Idola, what we're talking about now. I have Verve Matin, I have Soir Exclusif, and Exalt Nuit. All fragrances that I really enjoy. But this fragrance here is one that I felt was great for today's list because you may have not heard about this thing here. Now, bias aside, because this is my fragrance, I'll tell you that there are many women that you can type into YouTube right now who are going to tell you that this thing smells amazing. Idola is jam-packed with some great notes. You have two types of rose here, which is French rose, Bulgarian rose. You also have some peach here in the mid, and then you also get to experience some vanilla. You get some bergamot within this scent, and the list just goes on. All in all, this one to me is an elegant, classy scent that smells sexy. To me, Idola is this angelic rush of freshness. Okay, there's again a number of notes in this fragrance that really help this fragrance stand out and perform as it should. If you're looking for a sensual blend of fruity and floral elements, then look no further than this fragrance here, Idola, from your boy Big B and Enamoured Collection. Now, the creator behind this fragrance was Francis Kurkdjian and Jerome Di Marino, two standout heavy hitters within the fragrance world. Now, if you had any pause of trying this fragrances out because it was a YouTuber fragrance, then I have no fear. You have some master perfumers here. Be sure to check this fragrance out, Idola, from, well, me and Enamoured Collection. Now, personally for me, another fragrance house that I think of when I think of sensual aspects, I think of seduction. When it comes down to perfumes, this fragrance house is really top tier for me, and it's really not expensive according to all of the other fragrances that you can get out there. And that house is from the master of seduction himself, which is Tom Ford. The fragrance I'm referencing in this video for the sake of this one is Tom Ford's Velvet Orchid. Now, there are a ton of these orchid fragrances that he offers. You have Black Orchid, you have the newer Black Orchid, which is Black Orchid Extreme. You have this one here, though, is a standout fragrance to me, which is Velvet Orchid. I purchased multiple bottles of this one for the missus, and it's a fragrance that I really enjoy. Sensual, sexy, all of those things that I feel like some women like to convey, right? And if you're feeling on your bad girl side, then this is one of those fragrances that you can try, as well as the entire house in itself, right? So if you're feeling classy, there are fragrances for that as well. If you're feeling sensual, there are fragrances there for that. If you're feeling like, hey, you know, this is just an everyday business wear fragrance, he has fragrances there too. So be sure to check out the house of Tom Ford when you're looking for perfume. Now, personally, I can't talk about Perfume without mentioning his next house, because I think they do perfumes really well, as well as their men's fragrances too. And that house is Parfum de Marly. Okay, you can tell by this one. This one specifically is Castle, which is a standout scent in my personal opinion. This fragrance, again, because these kind of fall in line to what I like with my wife and what she enjoys, this is one of the bad girl scents too, right? This one has a delicate feel to it, but it's also sensual. This fragrance has a ton of notes, including red currant, you have frangipani, you have sandalwood, you have rose within this fragrance, you have vanilla there. All great notes really combine into a solid scent. There are other fragrances within this house too that I think many people out there enjoy when it comes down to Delina Exclusif, and the new Delina out there as well. Be sure to try this line out. There are a number of fragrances within that house that fit for a variety of situations that I personally enjoy. I have maybe 15, 16, 17 of them myself. Mrs. has some of them, and I think many people out there enjoy them, and for good reason. So if you're new to the fragrance world, or if you just have not explored the house of Parfum de Marly, be sure to do so. Now, the next fragrance house I want to bring you to is a house that doesn't get a lot of talk, which is good, okay? This is good because not everyone's going to smell like you. The great thing about this is specifically 3 fragrances that I want to talk about, because they don't get a lot of shine, but if you grab these fragrances, you can find them, then I can guarantee you that you're going to find yourself in a position where you have some fragrances that you'll have to make a decision about. Do you want one, or do you want them all? Now, the fragrance house we're talking about today is the house of Juicy Couture. Yes, Juicy Couture, the fashion house that has released, they have a ton of fragrances out there, which is why I said I wanted to bring you back to 3 specifically. These are all Eau de Parfum concentration fragrances, and unlike anything else they offer, these fragrances really center around 3 fragrance notes, okay? And let me tell you all about them. So you have majestic woods, you have royal rose, and then you also have glistening amber. All right, these fragrances are phenomenal in my personal opinion. Now, the house of Juicy Couture would be seen as a designer house. Okay, they make clothes first, fragrances way down the line here in terms of what they do. But this fragrance, when I talk about this fragrance, I mean all three of these scents. These are niche quality fragrances to me. These have something different, this je ne sais quoi about them to help them stand out from the entire line and a lot of fragrances out there for me. The first fragrance that I smelled from this house was Majestic Woods. And again, like the others that we talked about on this list today, this is not the run-of-the-mill floral scent. This one is different. This one has kick, this one has bite, and I would not traditionally label this one as a floral scent. As I mentioned, the name of this fragrance is Majestic Wood, so there are some woody elements to this scent. Again, you have royal rose, glistening amber, that entire collection of those three fragrances, because I feel like those are the only three of that type from this house, really deserve a second or third look. If you have checked out the house and you tried some of the others that are out there, please do yourself a favor and try out these fragrances. You will not be disappointed. All right, and that leads us to the final fragrance house that I want to talk about today. I'm making noise here because this fragrance makes a lot of noise. This fragrance house is the house of Montblanc. Okay, Montblanc has, I don't know, they have a lot of fragrances there. I would say they would probably have 200 fragrances there. That may be exaggeration, but I'm probably pretty close here. The fragrance that I'm talking about specifically today is Starry Nights. Now, the entire theme of these fragrances what's on here for the most part, these are a little darker fragrances, not your average floral fragrances if they find into that floral space, but all in all, high quality scents is what you're going to get with all of these scents. There are also going to be fragrances that are not run-of-the-mill, not in everyone's collection, and they're a deviation from the standard Chanel fragrances that you may see or hear about. Listen, try this out, try the others on the list today. Specifically, I would definitely like you guys to pay special attention to the house of Enamoured Collection as it comes down to Idola, because that's one of those fragrances that I stand behind for sure, 1000%. I would love to hear what fragrances you include within your perfume collection. What fragrances have you purchased for that special someone, or have you purchased for yourself? We would love to know. Comment down below. As always, I'm your boy, Big Beard. Hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Just hit the goddamn bell.